this is for home life. This is really just about making everybody in here a winner person at the end of the day. Katie Anderson is the founder of Healing with Katie in Black Rose New Beginning. Organizations dedicated to strengthening mental health in the workplace, especially within construction and trades. As a certified life coach, mentor, and speaker, Katie works with companies across the country to build healthier leaders, stronger teams, and cultures that prioritize mental wellness. Through speaking engagements, leadership development, and our 18-week coaching program, she equips organizations with practical tools to shift from a suck-it-up mentality to a culture of resilience, accountability, and support. And with that, I'd like you to join me in welcoming Katie Anderson.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for, I hope, finding your seats and listening to me today. I'm going to have a message that is going to be, could be triggering, could be eye-opening, could be heartfelt, and hope you guys just don't fall asleep because I know lunch is next. So, again, like he mentioned, my name is Katie Anderson. I'm a mental health coach. I work directly with the trades, and I've been doing this for about 8 years for my own self. But I've been doing mental health work, suicide awareness and suicide prevention for 15 plus years. Not just for the trades, but for a lot of different industries. So I don't do it by myself though. I have an entire team, so this is my team. Since I am only one person, it takes a village, right? How do you guys believe that it takes a village to make a change? That means every single one of you in this room is part of the village that we're going to be talking about today when it comes to mental health and the trades. And we're going to really make some light. So my goal today is going to share some facts. My goal today is going to teach you something, and you're going to be doing the most cheesiest thing with me today, so hopefully you won't forget it. And then we're going to talk about our why. Why is mental health in the trades so important? So the first thing I'm going to ask you guys, though, because I know you guys are very antsy, why is mental health in the trades important? Longevity? What else? There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to hear your responses. Be productive? Okay, so why is mental health important for the trades? Liability, health?
Guys working together.
Guys working together? Yes, so the reason why mental health is important for the trades is because y'all been neglected for a very long time. You guys have to agree? I agree. You guys been neglected. That suck it up mentality, it's been a hard mentality that gets us in trouble. Okay? So with my team, this is what we do. We're going to make a big difference. So the first thing I really want to talk about some facts. And some of these facts are going to be eye-opening. And I want to say trigger warning because when I'm going to talk about some facts, it's going to be eye-opening. And it might be relatable. Okay? So some of the first facts. So with suicide in construction remains one of the highest in all industries. So where do you think that construction falls in the suicide rates in just the United States? You said in the middle? So in the top 5, we're number 2. So in the construction industry, we rank number 2 in the suicide rates. In all industries. I'm talking about police, firefighters, I'm talking about first responders, I'm talking about your attorneys, your doctors. Construction workers rate number 2 in the suicide rate. Let that sink in a little bit. Guess what number 1 is? Not military. Lawyers? No. Agriculture. Agriculture's number 1, and it's been number 1 for the last 2 years. But construction's been number 5 in the last 5 years. Or it's been number 2 in the last 5 years, I misspoke. That's sad, right? Alright, so another fact here. So when it comes to 1 out of 5 construction workers have a substance abuse disorder. I hear giggles, but this is actually some true facts. It's hard facts. So if I look at every single one of these tables, there's roughly 5 people per table. So can you look at your table and say there's probably 1 person at this table has a substance abuse disorder? If this, I hear it all the time because I work with the trades all the time. I'm like, after work, what is the first thing you think of? Get a drink. And as soon as we're here after this whole presentation, what are we gonna go do? Get a drink. Right, but, you know, it's okay, we can socialize, we can have a drink, but when it comes to coping, if that's your main coping strategy, we got a problem. Okay, if that's what you do to numb yourself so you don't face reality, there's a problem. And I think I missed one, I'm gonna go back. There we go. So, overdoses actually are killing our construction workers more than on-the-job site fatalities. You guys realize that? Look at this number. That little tiny little blue dot, that's on-the-job site fatalities. This big ass orange one, that's overdoses. Guess how much that number is for overdose?
17,000?
17,000, how'd you know that?
I just asked for that.
Can you read? 17,000 overdoses. That's worldwide, not just for Michigan or the United States, it's worldwide. And this is actually on the OSHA website. So if you guys ever have a few minutes and you're just curious about some facts, there's some hard facts on there that we just don't pay attention to. One, because we don't want to. It's scary, right? And sometimes it hits too close to home. So, all right, so the next one is 65 to 70% of our construction workers will admit that they have anxiety, depression, or just a lot of stress. How do you guys feel like you're in that 65, 75% category of stress, depression, just a lot of heavy shit in life? I should see almost everybody's hands were raised. Because life's hard, right? 25% of the construction workers are going to end up in a crisis because why? Why will be 25% of the crisis in the construction industry? Why would it be a mental health crisis? We don't get paid enough, is that what somebody said?
You blow it off?
Resources for support, that could be one. I'm a resource. Okay? My team is a resource. But the big reason is, you have a suck it up mentality. How many of you guys have a suck it up mentality? Oh, I'll just deal with it later. Oh, I'm fine. Spit on it, shine it, it's good. But that's not gonna help. That's gonna keep the problem still there. Now, when it comes to safety on the job, mental health plays a big part in our safety on the job. We're exhausted, we're fatigued, right? How many of you guys feel like you're on autopilot sometimes? You've done the same job over and over again, you know what you're doing, right? We get complacent. If we get complacent, what happens? Bad things can happen, right? We can slip, we can fall, we can miss a measurement, we can not fully pay attention and be aware. But when it comes to our depression, what can depression do over on the job? Depression can create slow decision making, right? Depression can mean I'm isolating myself, so maybe I don't even know what's all going on because I'm not communicating with people. I'm isolating myself. How many of you guys isolate when you got so much stuff going on you just don't want to talk to people? That's me. If you see me alone, don't talk to me. But on the job site, safety is so much more important than we realize. How many of you guys are going to really pay attention to, and I saw the demo, right, for the falls. We have tools in place, we have gear in place to keep us safe. Same thing for our mindset. How many of you guys feel like you have a go-to mental health tool that you use? I see a couple hands. You want to share your mental health tool that you use? No? Okay. Anybody want to share a mental health tool that you use? Go ahead.
I will. Actually, I went to try to go to therapy a couple weeks ago, and it was going to cost me like $160 per visit. So that's why I will go.
So you started going to therapy.
I was going to.
You're going to?
But
So,
you know what I mean? That right there shows like why we have a hard time going to therapy.
Costs too much, you said.
Yeah.
so when it comes to resources, how many of you guys feel like therapy is taboo because you don't want somebody to know your shit? I hear that all the time, right? You don't want to get judged, you don't want to feel shame, you don't want to feel guilty because you're sharing it out loud. That means somebody's going to know you better than you probably know yourself. That stuff's scary. All right, so when it comes to other safety, we got our emotional safety, we that can create poor judgment. How about hygiene? Say that we are getting those beers after work and we get wasted and we come in hungover the next day. What does that help with our judgment? I see a lot of laughter and a lot of smiles. I know that's real because I hear it all the time. So if we're hungover the next day, we're dehydrated, we probably smell, we don't have a good attitude. All of that affects our on-the-job safety. We think it's funny, we laugh about it, but we only laugh about it because we know it's true. All right, so when it comes to the culture barriers, I talk about the male-dominated industry. This is what I do. I specialize in it, and I see it all the time. I hear it all the time. We have that suck it up mentality, but we always talk about long hours. I think somebody over here said, there's just long hours. We get laid off. So with that barrier, I hear it all the time. Well, what's the problem? I work too much. What's the problem? I have long hours. What's the problem? I have no life-work balance. I'm going to be very real with you guys really quick. You know what helps with all these barriers? Guess what helps with all these barriers?
Take time off.
Communication. It's not paid time off. It's not just therapy. Communication. How many of you guys say I'm burnt out before you get burnt out and you start hitting the fan? Communication goes a long way. And this is actually what we really focus on with what I do and the support that we give. It's communication. If I can teach you to learn how to communicate, because if you didn't know what you need, you're going to communicate it. I bet you guys don't even know what you need to help yourself with a life-work balance. Besides pay time off, because honestly, that's not going to fix you. It might give you a quick break, but then you go back to reality. And when you go back to reality, it's the same game all over again, right? So what we got to do? We got to learn how to communicate. We got to learn how to cope. We need to learn how to be an advocate for ourselves. It's easier said than done, but this is why we're here for different tools. So how can we make a change? Which is kind of touched on already. So we can make change by having communication, training, promoting life-work balance. But when we promote life-work balance, you know where that comes from? You guys realize there's a quiz by the time I'm done talking today? So I really hope you guys are listening. So when it comes to promoting life-work balance, the key to that is yourself. You being an advocate for yourself. You communicating for yourself. You showing up for yourself. Now, when it comes to creating a safe space, how many of you guys know how to create a safe space and even know what that means? I see smiles. Creating a safe space. So when I say creating a safe space, that means if you have a fellow worker come to you, like, hey man, I've been really struggling, I don't know what to do. So creating that safe space means you're listening. You're not gonna be like, oh man, shut up, you're fine, let's get back to work. How many of you guys will actually do that? Just shut up, let's get back to work, I don't got time for this. Are you guys gonna say that? So, when it comes to creating a safe space, it's really about just listening. How many of you guys in here have kids? Yeah? How many of you guys have little ones that, I mean, they're all sponges, but the littler ones are like sponges. They just repeat everything that you say. Right? Mine are older. I have some young adults. So mine are, they repeat what I say, but from like 10 years ago. Remember that one time, Mom? When it comes to promoting ourselves, our kids start promoting themselves. Our workers start promoting themselves. Right? So say that you start standing up for yourself and you create that safe space and you start talking about what's bothering you. Your coworker might start doing that. Your kids will start doing that. It is going to be a domino effect. So every single one of you guys in here making a change for yourself can make a change for your coworker next to you or anybody that's in your household. So that's one thing. That's one of the ways that we can make a change. So today we're going to talk about some red flags. So on your pieces of paper, you guys have in front of you, it looks just like this. So go ahead and grab it, take some time. I want you to look it over real quick because I'm going to start quizzing you. This is going to be a pop quiz. It's It's gonna be a test. All right. Question is, what are some common red flags that we see in the workplace? Say it out loud for me. Withdrawals? Mood swings?
Tired.
Decrease or increase in drug use? Changing in appearance? Fatigue?
Late.
Say that again. Decline in work performance. What else? Is there more?
Change in appearance.
Change in appearance. Yep, we said that. So change in hygiene. More frequent drinking. So say somebody's coming to work, like, man, I got drunk last night. They say that like every single time they see them. Isolation. What about somebody's talking like, man, it's hopeless. Man, life is heavy. Man, I'm done with this shit. I hear that too. These are all common red flags, and now this is going to be my trigger warning. These are common red flags for people that are slipping into a depression. But these are also common red flags for somebody that can be suicidal. How many of you guys in this room has known somebody that died by suicide? So the reason why I'm a huge advocate for suicide awareness and prevention is because at 7 years old, I came home and found my mother dead when she killed herself. I've been a huge advocate ever since. So I always tell people I've been an advocate my whole life because I was 7 years old when that happened. Red flags are there. We don't see them all. I get that. But what are some common red flags? I can think of two common red flags that we miss because it's like, oh, that was so sweet. One of them is, say somebody comes into work and they're like, hey man, thank you so much for always giving me the time of day to listen to me. Thank you so much for sharing your food with me when I never bring food. Hey man, thank you so much for just showing me the ropes when I really don't know what I'm doing. They're going around and they're showing and sharing their appreciation. You know that could be a sign of somebody saying goodbye. Could be a sign. Like, I really want to show everybody my appreciation. I want to let the people know that I love them before I go. And I'm not trying to sit here and have a hard conversation, a bad conversation. These are just reality conversations that we just don't give enough energy to. Another one, and I'll just share one last one because I want to over talk about the bad stuff. But another one is, say that you've ever known of somebody or heard of a story where somebody's like, man, I want you to give me this watch. This watch really means something to me. I want you to take that. Or, hey man, you know, they just start giving away their stuff because they're like, this really means a lot to me. They really are making sure that people are getting their things because when they die, they just want to make sure all their stuff is organized. I have one last one I do want to share, I apologize. So have you ever had somebody come into work and they are normally just happy on like an even keel? They come to work, they do their job, but one day they come in and they're just so high on life, they're like so energetic, you're like, dude, what are you on? Do you know that can be a red flag for somebody that is suicidal because one, they've made a plan, they're going to execute this plan, and that just weighted, they just had the weight lifted off their shoulders. So when it comes to red flags, this is the next side. Flip over that paper for me. I don't want to hear, I don't know what to do after today. Because every single one of you guys are going to know what to do when you hear somebody or see a red flag. There are 3 C's on the back of that piece of paper. I want you to remember the 3C strategy. So if you see somebody with a red flag, don't ignore it. Have some compassion. Have some confidence in yourself and connect. Those are the 3 C's on the back of that card. I guarantee you, say, hey man, I just noticed that you were late the last couple days. Is everything okay? Or, hey man, I noticed you haven't ate in a couple of days for lunch. Is everything okay? Hey man, I noticed you've been isolating yourself. You want to talk about anything? How many of you guys had that happen to you and it just felt so good to work on it? Anybody? Nobody? How does it feel though to actually say something and just be able to be open about something and you just like, oh man, that felt so good to say that out loud? I guarantee you, even though nobody's raising their hands or shaking their head, I guarantee you that's happened to you at least once in your lifetime. So remember the 3 C's. Now one thing I hear all the time when I have these conversations is, how many of you guys feel like you're going to say something wrong, you're going to make it worse? Has anybody felt that way before? Yeah? I hear this often when I get phone calls. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, I'm calling you so we can figure out how to do this. You are not going to step on anybody's toes, you are not going to say anything wrong. I guarantee you, just the fact that you are checking in on that person is going to make them think about, well, damn, I'm not wearing that mask as tight enough as I thought I was. Or maybe I'm not really hiding my shit as well as I thought I was. How many of you guys feel like you wear a really good mask and you can fake that shit before you, like, in a heartbeat? You're like, can win a gold medal, you can fake it until you make it. Anybody? I know I can. I used to. But now I'm an open book. Now I can just talk about everything and be open and real and raw. I guarantee you, once you learn how to do that, you're going to have that burden lifted off your shoulders too. So I hope you guys take this card. There's also a QR code. It goes right to our website. If you know anybody that is struggling, they can go right to that QR code. We do crisis calls. We'll be there in a heartbeat, physically or virtually, however that works. We serve 17 states, so we do this for all of our trades. So keep this card for yourself, or give it to a friend. Take that QR code. All right, so remember when I said we're going to be doing something very cheesy? So I got everyone's attention when I said cheesy. I'm going to give you guys 2 new tools that you're going to put in your own personal toolbox that you can take and use for yourself, or you can take and you can teach it to somebody else, and hopefully you do both. Okay? And this is where everyone's going to participate, or I'll stand here very awkwardly silently until everybody does participate. Okay? Alright, this first one. How many of you guys heard of box breathing before? I see a couple hands. So box breathing is a way that we can just recenter ourselves. Because how many of you guys ever felt you just disassociated, you're on autopilot, and you just didn't remember getting home from work? I know I have. A lot of times, how many of you guys felt like you just went from 1 to 100 because you just got so pissed off? How much I'm worth of that one? Thanks for being honest. That used to be me too. Bad temper. Box breathing is going to help us reset ourselves, our mind and our body, so we can calm ourselves down, so we can have more control. Because the last thing we want to do is lose a sense of control over ourselves, right? How embarrassing is that? It's embarrassing. I've done that many times in my lifetime. So this is the cheesy part. I'm literally going to walk every single one of you guys through a box breathing session. So how I'm going to walk you guys through this though, in a second, I'm going to have you guys all close your eyes. I will be counting out loud while you're counting in your head. And we're going to be counting. So when you're inhaling, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, holding, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, and holding, 1, 2, 3, 4. Literally just like the box behind me. Okay? I see a lot of people going, what are we about to do? But I guarantee you the most cheesy thing you're going to do is the most memorable thing that you're going to do. Okay? So now, the first box, I'm going to walk you through it. You're going to listen to my voice and you're going to do it. The second box, I'm going to shut up and you're going to talk in your own head and you're going to count for yourself. Are you guys ready? I want to hear that again. Are you guys ready? All right. So I want everyone to close their eyes for me. And I really mean that, because I'm going to look around the entire room. Eyes closed, please. I promise you this is going to be the best experience of your life. All right. Closing your eyes. Go ahead and inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on your own. Wasn't that amazing? All right, so give me some honest feedback. How'd that make you feel? Good? Great? Calm? Was it calming? Relaxing? How many of you guys felt like it was like that gave me more anxiety because I'm closing my eyes in front of 100 people? Anybody? No? I guarantee you, if you give yourself the discipline, the dedication, and the respect, and try this once a day for a good 30 days. Reason is, how many of you guys heard it takes 30 days to build a habit? Right? It's a cliche phrase. But the biggest reason why, if you actually try this every single day, at least one box breathing, when you really need it the most, your mind and body is going to know how to use it. You can't just say, oh, I learned this tool, and it was like 2 weeks ago, shit hits the fan, you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to remember nothing. So at least practice it for me at least once a day, or teach it to somebody, or both. Okay? You can actually Google this. Google box breathing. All right, the next one. This is going to be about grounding techniques. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's heard of this one before? A couple hands. So let me ask you this. What's the grounding technique for? Take your mind off. Release negative energy. How many of you guys felt like you had lost a sense of control because something happened? Sense of control meaning like you get anxiety, or you get sad, or you get so angry you're just pissed off and you just react in a way you never thought you would. So a grounding technique is to re-ground ourselves, because if we got mad, you allowed somebody to piss you off. You gave somebody that control over you to make you angry. We're not going to do that, right? We're going to learn how to control ourselves and ground ourselves. So the technique for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we got check out 5 things that you see. Like you see, I see a chair, I see a table, I see a hat, I see a speaker. I don't know why there's a pink hanger right there, but there's a pink clothes hanger right there. So check out things that you see. Now, number 4 things you can touch. You can touch your hat, you can touch your phone, you can touch your feet on the ground, you can touch the table in front of you. Now, number 3, here. You can hear people's voices. I can hear the dishes. I'm sure you guys are thinking of food right now. You can hear my voice. Next thing is about 2 things you can smell. Can anybody smell the food? Maybe? I don't smell anything. Maybe you smell the person next to you. Hopefully they smell good. The last one is taste. Maybe you're tasting your coffee. Maybe you're tasting the bagel. Maybe you're tasting your water. All of these things are going to re-engage your 5 senses so you can come back to reality. Because when we're angry, when we're sad, when we're depressed, when we're on autopilot, we're not in reality. We're not in the here and now. But with this grounding technique, we can be. We can gain our control back. How many of you guys feel like you're going to go home and teach it to your kids? I try to teach it to my kids, and they're like, Mom, you're not my therapist, you're not my mental health coach, like, just go. I really hope that you guys take the opportunity to teach somebody the grounding technique. And it doesn't have to be the whole 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It can just be one of each. I hear it all the time on the job site. So when I go to the job sites, I visit them, I try to do toolbox talks. There's one thing we talk about. When you get angry on the job site, how do you de-escalate yourself? Take it out on the tools. Did you throw that shit across the room or something? Kicking it, punching it. I hear this all the time. What else do we do? Like, what would be a healthier way to de-stress or kind of re-ground ourselves on the job? Box breathing, yeah. So the simple tool is talking. Saying that I'm upset, saying something bothered you, saying, how many times have you been able to be like, I just need a minute? Any of you guys say that before? I just need a minute. And then you just go walk off, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go get take a minute before I just go off on somebody, or before I punch something, or throw a tool, right? On the job, this goes hand in hand with the mental health and safety for all of you. Not just for yourself, we're working with a team. So we wanna make sure that everyone's safe. All right, so the biggest thing that I want you guys to take away, outside of the cheesy tools that I just talked about, is your personal why. Now, my personal why, the reason, and I get this question all the time, why do you guys think I work with the trades? Do you think it's personal, or do you think I just found a niche and it was something that just really I ran with? The first one is personal. So my father was in the trades. I'm a daughter of a trade worker. So growing up, my dad was always in the trades, worked long hours, had an addiction. Alcohol was his friend, always cracked a beer after work or before. He was one of those. The functional alcoholic, as people would say. So I was around it. I grew up with that. I grew up also with the long hours. It's okay to drink. It's okay to swallow your pills. Yeah. It's okay not to talk about your emotions. I never talked about my emotions because my dad never knew how, especially after my mom died by suicide when I was only 7 years old. My dad had 7 daughters to raise. And people are like, oh, that's why he drank. How many of you guys just thought about that? But in reality, he was an alcoholic before that even happened. So as I witnessed growing up as a little girl, watching my dad be in the trades, he loved his job, he was really good at his job, and was proud of it. But that was the main thing I saw he was proud of, was his job. He was an alcoholic. He dealt with depression. He had 3 suicide attempts. So by the time I was 9 years old and 12 years old, I got taken away because my dad just couldn't get his shit together. And it wasn't just me, it was a lot of us. So I've had the heart for the trades because I know the trades struggle, right? They have that suck it up mentality because I witnessed that with my own dad. And how many of you guys have kids? Again, I know I asked this question before, but raise your hand. We do not want to teach them that numbing our emotions is a good way to cope. I never knew how to cope. I followed my dad's footsteps. I worked in the trades, I grabbed an addiction. I didn't know how to communicate my feelings. This is why it's so important for me to be able to come out here and teach the skills that saved my life, but now saved 100 lives because I've been doing it for quite some time. So that's my why. But now, one thing that's going to help every single person in this room is your own individual why. So what is that going to be? I want people to communicate that out loud for me right now. What is going to be your personal why today to take mental health on a different level? Family? What else? Safety? Don't make me stand in awkward silence, guys. Less stress. Okay? What else? So all of our personal whys can be different. It can be because I have kids. And maybe if you don't have kids, maybe it's for yourself. My why is because I want to be the best that I can be and I want to live the best life. How many of you guys feel like you're living your best life? I see a couple hands. If you have not raised your hand because you are feeling like you're not living your best life, you are the one that's in control. You are driving that bus. So that should be your why. Is yourself. If you're not living your best life, let's work on that. But really what helps you live your best life is your mental health. It is not your job, it is not the house that you own, it's not the car that you drive. It is how you think. It's going to be how you show up for yourself. Another why could be, maybe I want my kids to learn that struggling is okay. How many of you guys heard that before? I want my kids, how many of you guys hide your shit from your kids? You don't explain why you're upset, you just isolate yourself, don't talk, and then you get mad and you blow up. That happens too. But our why should be, I want to be different. I want to be better. Right? Any questions about the why? No? Okay. All right, so let's talk about some resources real quick. How many of you guys feel like you know who to call when you guys have a problem? Anybody? Who has a best friend that they call when things hit the fan and they just really need to talk to somebody? Now I'm going to ask a really hard question, and I'm pretty sure nobody's going to respond to this. How many of you guys actually go see a therapist? Okay. I'm so glad you raised your hand so proudly, sir, with a big ass smile on your face. I love it. I saw a therapist for 12 years, and it really took me, because I was that same person, with the suck it up mentality. I don't need nobody knowing about my shit. Like, I just wanted to keep moving on with life. But let me tell you, all the stuff I was dragging went everywhere with me and never left until I learned how to, one, talk about it. So for resources are important. My team can be a resource, which everybody has now access to that. What we do is we do toolbox talks. We'll go to every single job site if we work with the company, and we'll just talk about mental health. We'll build relationships, because relationships are very important when it comes to support. Would you guys agree? Relationships are important. What builds a relationship though? Communication. What builds a relationship is communication. All right, some other tools are going to be lunch and learn. So doing something like this too, educating yourself, building some tools. Some other, how many of you guys heard of the 988 number? Okay, so 988 is a hotline. You can text or you can call. And you can say, I am struggling. You don't have to be suicidal actually for this. It is a suicide hotline. But you can text that or you can call it, and then you can gain somebody on the other line to chat you through whatever you're going through. Sometimes you just need a stranger on the other end because they don't know you. They don't know your family. They're not going to come back and point it out. They're just going to be a stranger on the other end that you feel like you can just unload on, and then go back to whatever reality that you have in front of you. All right, another thing is, how many of you guys, so one fact that I've learned for doing this for quite some time is that when I talk to the construction industry, therapy is it's a big taboo. Nobody talks about going to therapy. What about coaching? So this is what I've learned throughout my years of doing this, is that if I tell somebody, okay, I'm going to coach you, versus be a therapist to you. What does that sound like? Less stressful, right? The label is not as hard. For some reason, the label therapist is like the harsh word, right? Because back in the day, you were probably labeled as crazy. So my company, actually, we partner with Cedar Creek Hospital, and it's actually a mental health hospital. So with that, our partnership has been able to build me and my team up with amazing skills, like cognitive behavioral therapy skills, DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy skills, neurological reprogramming. So we can coach you to figure out where you're at today, so we can build new skills, new tools, new boundaries, new relationship maps. So basically, you're just going to be learning something every single time that you meet with somebody. Doesn't that sound a little bit less heavy than going to see a therapist? And I mean, therapy is good. Like, I've done therapy for 12 years, and I don't know where I would have been if I didn't see a therapist, because I was in a dark place because of all of my trauma. But what I've learned throughout my years and throughout my healing journey is that I just really need somebody to teach me something so I can take what I've learned and try to implement that into my life. So I really found in the trade industry, you guys work a lot with your hands, right? You're physical, so you like to actually, you're fixers too. How many of you guys will label yourself as, I'm a fixer? I like to fix problems, I solve problems, give me a problem. Since we're fixers, why not give you the tools? You can take the tools and implement them into your life. That's going to make a bigger change than you probably going and venting to somebody that's a stranger, and you're already feeling awkward because you have this bad image of yourself or the therapist in your head. Again, both is actually good too. You can actually utilize both types of resources at the same time. We hear that all the time, and we actually help with that. So we are a resource center too. So if you are ever needing anything and you need help in the community, like an advocate seeing somebody to go into a courtroom with you. How many of you guys ever fought a custody battle before? A divorce battle. So we are advocates for that. Strangely enough, it's needed. If somebody needs help with a food bank, if somebody needs help with Christmas, if somebody needs help with utility bills, we actually will help you in your community to find that for you. Because how many times have we worried about our financial stress and we can't think about our mental health stress? Right? Have you guys ever been in that position where you're like, I don't know how to pay this bill, it's coming up, I know it's coming up, and money's tight? Anybody ever been in that position? Yeah, I know I have. So one thing that I want to say to you too, well, I'll say this out loud, and I don't know if Andy, don't listen. Who's HR in here? Is there HR in here? Okay, close your ears. No, joking. How many of you guys know about the resources that your company offers? I want hands, like, let's be honest, like, I really want to know this right now. How many of you guys know about the resources, if you're in a crisis, mental health crisis, how many of you guys know the resources that are available to you at your fingertips? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nice. So, how can we make a bigger impact? And this is actually a really true question. How can we make a bigger impact today to help you understand and see the mental health resources at your fingertips? What was that? Be more informed? Okay, so when I think of being more informed, I think of, is it flyers? Is it conversations? Is it emails? What do you think? Email, text? Better communication? So I'm hoping, we just ordered more stickers. We have hard hat stickers that hopefully all of you guys will have eventually. It's where you put on your hat, the QR code right on the hard hat sticker, and it goes right to our resource center. So if anybody ever needs something, you can scan that QR code, and when we help you find a resource, that's at no cost. Because how many of you guys feel like, man, I don't want to reach out to something that's going to cost me money? It's going to cost me money. Usually that's what holds most people back. All right, so going back to that question, what's going to help you understand or recognize the resources at your fingertips through the company? We said communication, we said texting, emails, better communication, what else? How many of you guys, can you just go look it up on the website? So if there's, and correct me, can they look it up on the website? Okay. Yeah, so my whole point of asking that is you are your own advocate, right? We say better communication, texting, emails, but in all reality, we gotta put in the work too. How many of you guys try to train somebody and you're like, man, this person is not trainable? So that's telling me that you are the untrainable one. How many of you guys heard you can't teach old dog new tricks? How many of you guys heard that phrase before? Believe it or not, with what I do, I've taught many old dog new tricks. And you know why? They want it to be better. They want it to feel better. They want it to live better. All right, so we've talked about some data, some hard facts. We've talked about some red flags. We've talked about the 3 C's. We've talked about your why, your personal why in the mental health industry, and how you can be your own advocate, and an advocate for your team, an advocate for your family. What am I missing here? We also talked about the 988 number, we talked about suicide crisis, right? You guys feel like I'm missing something? Or are you guys ready for lunch? It's too early. Box breathing. Is that what you said? Okay. I would say I have old ears, but you guys might laugh at me, so I'm trying to listen and hear all of you guys. All right, so the very last thing that I actually want to say is that every single one of you guys can make a difference by simple communication. So now that we've talked about all this heavy stuff, we've talked about how you can make a change, we've talked about how you can be your own advocate. So I'm going to ask another really personal question, and I really want you guys to really think about this before you answer this question. How many of you guys in your lifetime has had a spot in your life where you were just like, I can't do this anymore? Seriously, like keep your hand up real quick. Like, okay, go ahead and put your hand down. Now I'm going to ask this question again, and I've asked it already before, but this time I'm going to make people stand up. I know, they were like, oh, maybe I'm making people stand up. All right, the question is, how many of you guys have lost somebody by suicide? Please stand up. If you've lost somebody by suicide, please stand up. And I really want, like, seriously, I'm going to take this moment. If you've lost somebody by suicide, keep standing. Yes. I want to take this moment of a moment of silence for the people that we've lost by suicide. Look around the room. Every death by suicide, there are 68 attempts just from one suicide. That means when there's one death by suicide, there's an additional 68 attempts. See this around in the room right here? Just in this room alone. It's heavy. Thank you guys so much for standing and representing the people that you've lost by suicide. Thank you. Now I'm going to take this time for questions because I'm actually getting done a little early, so I apologize in advance. Any questions for me? I want to take some questions. No questions? Comments? Any? How many of you guys feel like you took something away from today? Perfect. If anybody after today has any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate. Everyone should have a card in front of them. If not, I'll be hanging out for a little bit. You guys can even pull me off on the side, and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation. So one, thank you for allowing me to have a hard conversation, and two, thanks for letting me do a box breathing session today because I know it's cheesy. So thank you guys for your time today.